You are watching KVU 25 News Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman.
And I'm Trenton Whiting.
The city of Port Lavaca continues to make progress on its harbor improvement project at Smith Harbor. These clips were taken from the construction site near downtown. The city hopes to increase accessibility with new walkways and resources for residents. The project is funded in part by a grant from the Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust Fund. This is one of several projects Port Lavaca is working to accomplish. The city is also looking to update its 20-year comprehensive plan through neighborhood outreach. The first meeting will be Tuesday, September 23rd at 6 p.m. at Sunlight Girls Club to discuss challenges, issues, and priorities for the city's future plan.
The assassination of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk has brought parts of the community together as groups hold prayer vigils for his life and message. Patriot Park was the host of a vigil in Victoria County. Local Republicans joined to pay respects to the unfortunate loss of Kirk, but to also encourage each other to stand by the messages and values he represented in his life.
We hope that there is a future, that this message will resound, that it will grow much as Charlie had suggested it could and would. What I saw today with the people that were here is an understanding we have opportunities in front of us. What I hope to see with the message that Charlie brought, knowing that it wasn't Charlie's message, he was just the vessel. I have hope that the youth will step forward.
Kirk's death has sparked a conservative movement with the youth as Turning Point USA received thousands of requests to begin university chapters. Those in attendance at tonight's prayer vigil spoke about trying to spark a similar movement in Victoria.
Now the president says he will attend the funeral for conservative activist Charlie Kirk as Kirk's widow vows to carry on his work. Here's the latest.
President Trump said he hopes the nation will heal following the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. In a brief phone interview with NBC, the president repeated unfounded claims that the radical left is promoting violence, even as he called for the nation to heal. He added they stand in the way of reconciliation. The president's comments come as memorials grow for Kirk, who was gunned down while hosting a debate event on campus at Utah Valley University. His widow speaking publicly for the first time since his death, vowing to continue her husband's fight.
The movement my husband built will not die. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it.
Meanwhile, the suspected gunman, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, remains in the Utah County Jail. Investigators have been combing through Robinson's apartment complex, towing his car and collecting evidence. Sources tell ABC News the suspect's father recognized him in these photos and told his son to turn himself in. They say he initially said no, but then changed his mind.
A family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Authorities say Robinson's family told the investigator he had become more political and talked about how he didn't like Kirk's views. Kirk's funeral is planned for September 21st at State Farm Stadium in Arizona. President Trump already saying he plans to attend. The organization Kirk founded, Turning Point USA, inviting supporters to join them in celebrating what they call his remarkable life and enduring legacy. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, New York.
Gunfire at a high school football game left 2 teenagers injured and hundreds fleeing out of the stadium Friday night. It was a chaotic scene in Edgecombe County, North Carolina, as the rivalry game between Tarboro High and Southwest Edgecombe was nearing the end of the third quarter. Shots were fired and 2 people, a 17-year-old boy and a 16-year-old boy, were injured. An ambulance was already on the field responding to a player who was hurt, and one of the victims was able to walk to the ambulance from the concession stands.
Unfortunately, you know, I'm an Edgecombe County native. I've been here for so long, and this game brings like a lot of pride to our whole entire community. And to have an incident like this, obviously, is a black eye about our community.
There's no word on what immediately led up to the shooting, but its aftermath will be felt in that community for a long time.
And if you had to call 911 from your house, how would you do it? Most people will use a cell phone. Police in Texas say they were dispatched to the wrong house because a caller used a cell phone. And as Aaron Jones reports, that mistake resulted in a man getting shot.
1, 2 over there, and inside the house is several more.
Bullet holes in a garage door are evidence of what Thomas Simpson calls one of the scariest nights of his life.
I never expected anything like this in this neighborhood.
He says around 1:30 a.m. Friday, he thought burglars were outside his home because officers never identified themselves. He says he grabbed his gun, opened the garage door, and then saw a badge.
As soon as the door opened, I saw their badge. I threw the gun to the ground, got shot in the leg. I dropped to the ground, and Grand Prairie PD proceeded to fire about 8 rounds after I was on the ground.
He says one bullet hit his leg.
What was going through my mind is they already had like a SWAT team over in that corner over there with the riot shield. I'm like, what is going on? And is my family okay from all the shots being fired into my house?
He says he was taken to the hospital while his family was detained.
Well, they ordered them out of the house one by one and put them in handcuffs. Even my children, 13-year-old and 16-year-old, had to sit in the back of a cop car in handcuffs for 4 hours.
Grand Prairie police admit they were supposed to respond to a disturbance call at a neighbor's house. They say their computer dispatching system got the address wrong, in part because the call came from a cell phone. Police say Simpson may now be charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon against a peace officer.
They did not give me a reason at all. And I asked them, why are you even here?
Simpson says he'll be okay and is now planning to take legal action.
I understand they're trying to do their job, but they need to do better.
In Grand Prairie, Aaron Jones, CBS News, Texas.
All right, well, we had some nice weather, I would say. Maybe that's just me. I thought it was nice.
The humidity. Now we had some humidity today.
Yeah,
so.
a little bit. I was outside for a little while, so I experienced a lot of the weather. You know who's experienced with weather is meteorologist Trey Mining. So what's it looking like?
Oh yes, definitely an experience with heat and humidity. We'll be experiencing more of that coming up, and the humidity is on the rise. You surely felt that today. Current temperature on the outside, 76 degrees. And the humidity levels, well, 85%, so very saturated out there. And a little bit of wind, 10 miles per hour coming in out of the south. Nothing on the radar, that's false echo there. See those little dots south of Edna down toward the coast, keeping it mostly dry and quiet for the rest of the night tonight. What about tomorrow and the week ahead? Rain chances coming back, seeing some rain chance at some point. Let you know when that'll be, coming up a little bit later on in the full 7-day outlook to come. Back to you guys.
The LaSalle Monument in Calhoun County has officially been added to the National Register of Historic Places this morning. Community members gathered to celebrate the unveiling of a plaque marking the recognition. The monument, originally dedicated on May 21st, 1939, was created as part of the Texas Centennial Celebration. Today's ceremony highlighted the monument's historical significance and preservation for future generations.
And Calhoun County firefighters honor the lives lost on September 11th with a memorial climb this morning. Around 9 a.m., firefighters scaled the stairs at Sandcrab Stadium. The group climbed and walked the equivalent of 110 stories, representing the height of the World Trade Center. They even paid tribute to the 343 New York City firefighters who gave their lives responding to the terror attacks in 2001.
Although it's still hot outside, many people in Victoria spent the day looking at quilts. Many beautiful quilts were on display today at Holy Family Catholic Church for the annual For the Love of Quilts show. Donna Zabranik, Quilt Show Chair, tells us that each quilt was made by members of the Quilt Guild of Victoria, resulting in about 80 quilts on display. Zabranik says there are two main reasons why they put on the show each year.
The purpose of the quilt show is to get our love of quilts out into the public and to help us support the charities that we work for.
Proceeds from the quilt show benefit about 10 charities, including Christ's Kitchen, Midcoast Family Services, and VCAM, among others. The event has been an annual tradition in Victoria since 1983.
The cost of owning a home in Texas grew in 2024, the U.S. Census Bureau said Thursday, even as state lawmakers have taken steps to dramatically cut property taxes. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website at crossroadstoday.com. And that will lead us to your viewer poll this evening. What is your biggest expenses as a homeowner? Property taxes, mortgage rates, insurance, or utilities? And so far that we have in the lead is at 51% is property taxes. And second is 35% is insurance. But we would still love to hear from you as homeowners, what issues that y'all have more concern. I'm not a homeowner yet,
No,
but we get there.
exactly, knock on wood.
But we'll still love to hear from you. Just go over to our website at crossroadstoday.com/vote. Coming up, access to the internet could be impacting the mental health and safety of children.
Okay, let's take a look at the almanac for today. 92 degrees was the official high in Victoria. Low 68 degrees, a little cool feel to the morning. And 104 back in 1912, nowhere near that, thankfully for us. But check out this, the rainfall we had last Sunday, over 3 inches, put us above for the month. And that's definitely a good sign, and above for the year. Any more rain headed our way? Well, yes, there will be. We'll give you a look at that coming up later on in the full forecast.
The 2 victims of Wednesday's shooting at Colorado High School are still in the hospital. Officials believe the 16-year-old shooter was radicalized, but haven't said anything about a possible motive.
Shalima Maharaj spoke with some experts about the line between regular internet exposure and when it turns troubling.
It just takes one video, one concept, one idea that catches somebody's attention.
Why? That's the big question that's been on everyone's minds since Wednesday.
When a tragedy happens, we start putting all of these puzzle pieces together and we go, well, it's all right here.
9 News parenting expert Dr. Cheryl Ziegler is a mom to teens herself. She says there's a big difference between kids getting exposed to stories online and getting entrenched.
However, they start talking about even, let's say, conspiracy theories. They start bringing up, just sort of these sort of fringe ideas, and they're very interested in them, and they want to either talk about it or they want to debate or argue with you. That's really a sign to maybe start looking into what the content is that they are consuming online.
I think one thing that's pretty problematic is that the plans and manifestos and personal statements of past perpetrators are available in some of these spaces.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Rachel Nielsen says experts are seeing more radicalization in the years since COVID. And in Colorado, 9 News Investigates counted 13 school shootings in our state since the attack at Columbine High School 26 years ago.
And so through hate forums and websites and rhetoric, kids can find things that appeal to some of their own personal grievances.
She says parents shouldn't be afraid.
We need to talk early and often
of having tough conversations with their kids.
We're out of Pandora's box, right? So kids are going to be using the internet, so we need to teach them how to engage with it safely.
Dr. Nelson says that most vulnerable people are those who feel isolated and alone. They don't have a strong sense of identity, and they tend to be angry and more resentful of others.
Current President Trump says he'll issue major sanctions on Russia, but only if NATO countries do the same. He's also calling on NATO allies to stop buying Russian oil, ramp up tariffs on China, and show greater economic force. Trump claims Russia's war in Ukraine would end quickly if those steps are taken.
President Trump has highlighted his crime-fighting approach in Washington, D.C. as a blueprint for what should be done elsewhere, teasing plans to bring federal law enforcement to other cities.
The latest on his list is Memphis, Tennessee. Here with ABC's Selena Wang.
Trump's efforts to ramp up ICE enforcement operations nationwide, his administration launched Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago this week. He's also threatened to send in the National Guard to combat crime in the city.
Chicago, everybody knows how bad it is. They should be saying, please come in.
Last week, I pressed the president on why he wasn't targeting cities in red states with higher crime rates than Chicago, specifically Memphis.
Mr. President, why target Chicago and Boston when there are cities in red states with higher crime rates?
Yeah. Really higher than Chicago?
There are, like Memphis and St. Louis.
Excuse me. You know how many people were killed in Chicago last weekend? 8. You think there's worse than that? I don't think so.
Yesterday, the White House put out a statement acknowledging Memphis has the highest violent crime rate in the nation and announced the president will now send the National Guard there against the Democratic mayor's wishes.
I want to be clear. I did not ask for the National Guard, and I don't think it's the way to drive down crime. However, that decision has been made.
Tennessee is one of 8 states deploying troops to Washington, D.C. as part of the president's deployment there. Tennessee's Republican governor, who, like every other governor, controls the National Guard in his state, says he's giving troops in Memphis permission to carry out regular law enforcement duties. Selena Wang, ABC News, with the president in Bedminster, New Jersey.
Facebook users are beginning to receive payments from a $725 million settlement tied to the Cambridge Analytica scandal. The lawsuits claimed Facebook allowed user data to be shared without permission. Anyone who used Facebook between 2007 and 2022 was eligible to file a claim. Payouts vary by how long users had an account, and all payments are expected to be distributed within about 10 weeks.
Okay, keeping it on the quiet side around the Crossroads area. Seeing nothing on the radar, precipitation-wise or otherwise. That's a few little false echoes here in Vanderbilt. So keeping it pretty quiet tonight. What about tomorrow? What about next week? Could be some rain in our forecast. There could be a possibility of that. We'll give you the details coming up next in the full forecast. Good evening, everyone. Trey Mining here. Southerly winds off the Gulf, bringing back the humidity, feeling a little more humid today, and will continue to be the case for the next several days. And by the time we get to early morning on your Sunday, we'll be in well into the 70s, probably some 60s. About Yoakum to Hallettsville along I-10. Then warming up nicely again, 90 by 10 a.m. and then, of course, in the mid-upper 90s. Feel like temperature coming up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you're having any outdoor activities, you know what you need to do. You should know by now. Make sure you take frequent breaks, bring water with you and drink that water. Again, keep yourself hydrated. The tropics are unusually quiet. We're pretty much at the peak of hurricane season now, normally, but not seeing any named systems out there at all. This has potential, this is kind of low latitude though, but it has potential of becoming some kind of tropical system as it continues to work toward the west. We'll keep an eye on it. Likely it'll trek toward the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean, but we'll keep eyes on it, of course, because this is the peak hurricane season and things could get to moving out there a little bit more. What's happening for our weather here? High pressure reaching in, keeping the skies pretty much on the clear side. We have most of the day today was nice and sunny and clear in the overnight. Some rain trying to approach us from the west a little bit, kind of temporarily blocked by this high pressure ridge. but it'll begin to lose its momentum a little bit over our region, giving us some slight better rain chances coming up toward the middle part of next week. Future tracker tonight, keeping it quiet, a few clouds here and there, no precipitation expected, and a few clouds early tomorrow morning on your Sunday. Then we're seeing some breaks in the cloud cover by the afternoon, giving us a little bit more of a sunshine. Well, probably about the same as we saw today. Overall, Victoria tonight, lows in the 60s. Well, lows in the about 70 degrees actually, and then they're 80 by 9 o'clock, 90 by noontime, in the upper 90s by the 3 p.m. hour. Notice it being partly cloudy to mostly sunny. Port Lavaca, same boat. Sunny to partly cloudy skies throughout the entire day tomorrow. High temperatures well into the 90s, so sweating it out again. And Cuero as well, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. No rain in the forecast for your day tomorrow. A few clouds hanging around, 90 degrees, about 95 or so. Extended forecast for us. Pretty quiet, uneventful actually. Mostly sunny skies and hot for Sunday and Monday. Slight rain chance in, 20% is best. Right on through the next several days, starting on Tuesday into the weekend. Low temperatures in the 70s. Winds in the southeast, keeping the humidity back in our forecast area here, so making it feel a little more humid as we go for the next several days, so we're used to that. But the rain chance is pretty small overall. Try your best to stay cool. Sweating it out there again for the next 7 days. And take a look at this right here. This is the QR code. As you know, get your smartphone, scan the code you see there on your screen. They'll take you to a web page. You can download our app, be connected with us, news, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient, and free to have on your phone. We got Mr. Sports there with Ray Robinson.
Thank you, Trey. After a fun game and going 3-0 after the DeWitt County game, we hear from Cuero head coach Jared Feacock and quarterback Jackson Marie. See what they have to say and more coming up in sports. The non-district games for the Crossroads have been nothing short of entertaining. Cuero is now 3-0 after beating Yoakum in the DeWitt County rivalry game. The Gobblers' 42-28 victory was a tough one to grasp, and Coach Feacock and quarterback Jackson Marie take delight in the win and look to get better as they go deeper into the season.
When these two towns get together, there is a ton of talent on both sides of the football, you know, and they're very talented over there, but our kids just kept to the grindstone, got behind, never put their heads down, scored two touchdowns to put the game away, and so, you know, I'm just super proud of the kids, and it's a great atmosphere when this game happens, you know.
The atmosphere made this rival game victory even more sweeter as senior Jackson Marie played in his final game against Yoakum.
It feels great. That was my last time playing Cuero. We walked away with the W, and that's what's so important for the team and the fans as well. So, you know, it was a great team win. We got some things to work on. It wasn't perfect, but we're 3-0, so that's what matters.
A great performance from the offensive line led to a great rushing game. This further builds the excitement as the Gobblers go deeper into the regular season.
You know, that first drive, we knew we could start scoring on them easily, so the O-line, they did a hell of a job today. I mean,
yeah, no, our offensive line, we knew was kind of one of our strengths coming into the season. We had a lot of returning starters on that side of the football down there, and they just continue to get better and better each week. They play good ball still and get ourselves going in the right direction as the season goes on. It's about getting hot late, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
And for your top 3 plays of the week, you can expect to see a play from the DeWitt County game featured in this week's list. And once again, this list is featuring exclusive clips sent to us from a viewer. So thank you to that viewer. And this one is from none other than Bloomington, as they were a team once again making headlines in the Crossroads. And for the first time this year, a top defensive play is making the top 3 list. Bloomington was battling Ben Bolt last night. Aiden Gardner, a kid that we've talked to in the past, getting it done on the defensive side of the ball. Ben Bolt wanted to test out the throwing game against the Bobcat. Here's Ben Bolt throwing a long one to which Eden intercepts it, and before you know it, the ball finds itself back to when the play started, and with some extra yards, of course. The ball's travel came with some major assistance from Aiden. A pick 6 was on the menu, but hey, I'll settle for this appetizer. The DeWitt County game was full of many great highlights, but one that stands out is your top 2 play of the week. This play saw Yoakum receiving on a kickoff, and watch this guy right here as he just opens it up. The Jetters opens up the Jetters, curling to the left, and there you see Xavier Barnett clearing the way with some blocking for him. And Yoakum's first score of the game was a kickoff. And folks of the Crossroads were keeping that same energy for your top play of the week. Refugio hosted Edna last night with Edna receiving senior quarter. Keegan Hicks takes the handoff and finds an opening, and he gets to work, going coast to coast, maneuvering around the blockers, all while turning up the speed for a Cowboys touchdown. Crossroads, our athletes make these kickoffs look easy, don't you think? And for your college football on the national side, the Longhorns took on the University of Texas, El Paso, and the Longhorns continue to show why they are a top team, winning the game final score 27-10. And on your screen that you're seeing right now was the Aggies as they were playing a big game for your Saturday night college football. And they put up a fight against Notre Dame, but they did go ahead and to lose. A&M will battle Auburn in the conference opener on the 27th. Next week is their bye week. But that does it for your sports. Amaya?
Thank you, Ray. Coming up, make it into butter, oil, or just eat it by itself. Today, we celebrate a special part of your pantry. It's time to celebrate one of biggest snacks that can be enjoyed in a variety of tasty ways. It's National Peanut Day. It's celebrated every year on September 13th. Peanuts likely originated in South America around 3,500 years ago. Now, contrary to what some may think, peanuts are not nuts because they are not grown on trees.
No way.
Instead, they grow underground. They're also classified as legumes, now which means they are part of the same family as beans and other pinto beans. Peanuts pack plenty of protein and are also high. Now, whether you enjoy them raw or as a part of peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it's time to crack some open for a yummy snack.
I love a good PB&J.
Peanut butter, love that.
I love it.
I think it's interesting that it's underground.
I know.
That's what I thought.
Nut is in the name.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's go to weather. I don't know
little,
if any peanut's going to be growing underground this season. But
probably not. A little bit too hot for that. But I tell you what, eat some peanut butter outside, inside where the air conditioner is. That's what I say. Not outside too hot. All right, 95, 96 degrees overall coming up in the next 7 days. Only small rain chances beginning about Tuesday or so. Lows in the 70s. So sweating it out every day. Be careful.
Absolutely.
yes. But thank you for joining us.
Yes, we hope to see you back here Sunday for 25 News Now weekends at 5:30. Have a good night.